Hello and welcome to Andrew Reviews Film and TV. Today we're going to be looking at That's right, the 2009 Gary Gray film, Law Abiding Citizen. The synopsis reads as Clyde Shelton, Gerard Butler, is an honourable family man until the day his wife and daughter are murdered in a home invasion. He hopes for justice, but a rising prosecutor named Nick Rice, played by Jamie Foxx, cuts a deal with one of the killers in exchange for testimony. 10 years later, that man is found dead and Shelton coolly admits his guilt. Then he hands Rice an ultimatum: fix a broken legal system or suffer the consequences. So the film opens with a brutal scene depicting the murder and rape of Clyde's wife and the murder of his daughter. The slow knife insertion that you see in Clyde and his wife. I mean, it's gonna hurt, right? The scene sets a tone and makes us feel sympathy for Clyde as he witnesses most of this happening before he passes out. Then we meet Jamie Foxx's character Nick Rice in the next scene. He's making a deal that allows the lead bad guy in the rape murder, Darby, get off with only 5 years in jail for a testimony, but the other assailant, Ames, he gets the death penalty. Now Clyde, he sees Nick shaking hands with Darby like they've just made a massive deal, they're in on it together, so he's getting screwed over because he's not actually getting any justice at all. So then from me, the viewer, there's like instant rage. It's like you've got the broken Clyde looking at the handshake, and oh man, there's going to be some serious shit going down soon. 10 years later. So now you've got Nick Rice, he's got a daughter now, and he's missing recitals, missing being a family man because of all of his work, putting away the bad guys. Then at Ames' death, it's supposed to go smoothly, obviously, but it didn't because film. And there's a brutal murder because of the switching of the chemicals. Now that scene was shot interlaced with his daughter's recital, which, I mean, it's always beautiful, isn't it, where you've got the horrible murder mixed with something really nice like his child doing a recital. It's great. Now Clyde leaves clues for the cops to think that it was Darby that actually did it, with the "can't fight fate" on the bottle, because that was what was said to Jamie Foxx's character. So the cops go after him, and Clyde is on the phone with Darby saying, "Follow me if you want to live," and it leads him into his trap. Obviously Darby gets a gun from the policeman who's asleep, but when he pulls the trigger, the spikes go into him with the poison that paralyzes him. That's amazing. Like, I mean, that just shows how good Shelton is, Clyde. So he's trapped, drugged, no escape for Darby. He gets absolutely butchered by Shelton. I mean, I can't not look. My heart was pounding when Shelton was slowly saying how he was going to torture Darby. Holy crap, he's actually a psychopath. But I mean, kind of want him to do it because of what he did, for payback reasons. Brutal. So then Shelton's caught because he's the one that's registered as owning the building, abandoned warehouse that Darby's found, and he gets to work with making deals with Rice, because Rice makes deals with murderers, right? So he wants a nice lovely bed for a confession, he wants some food and music to say the whereabouts of Darby's attorney Bill Reynolds, but having the warden make the food arrive late cost Bill his life, because he was it 8 minutes late that he got his food, whereas if he got it at 1 o'clock they would have been able to find him fine. And you got Engine Number 9 by the Deftones comes on. We get the bloodiest scene with the bone from the steak being used as a knife, and then he goes, "I need a shower, warden," and he got himself into his own solo cell. It's brilliant. So then we find out that Clyde is actually this specialist killer from the character designed to only give this information. You know, what a role. If he wants to be in jail, he'll be in jail, kind of crap. Which makes you think, so he's the bad guy now? I mean, I thought there was just revenge and, you know, but now it's like, yeah, you kind of want to watch out for this guy. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's intelligent, he's clever, he's focused. So it's at this point in time when it feels like the film's kind of split into two different solid halves. The first half, it's a revenge film, and the remainder, it's a film directly poking at the inner workings of the American justice system in Philadelphia, making deals for time regardless of the crime, etc. I'd love for it to have been an all-out revenge film. Does that mean who doesn't love a good revenge film, right? With these characters. But the legal part, it kind of gave it a little bit more class than just a revenge gore film. So loads of people die when Clyde is in jail. How's he doing it? With a really brief, Rice is his accomplice thought when his car is untouched. But it turns out that it's just being left until last. Eventually Rice gets the location of Clyde's warehouses, and in one of them he finds tunnels that realises Clyde is the lone man in the operation. He's sneaking out through the tunnels. And they find a bomb that's actually meant for the people in power in Philadelphia when they're all going to be in one place at one time. He was going to boom, pop it all up. And Rice actually rigs that bomb to Clyde's room, so he ends up blowing himself up. I mean, that shot is absolutely amazing, with the slow-mo fire creeping round behind him. That's beautiful. Really nicely shot. So holy crap, this film was awesome. The brutality of the revenge flick, which turned into the bringing down of the justice system, and rightly so, in that world that they have created. You've got characters that are brought in to let us see character development, like using Jamie Foxx's pregnant wife to let that be a way for Jamie Foxx's character to say how he's feeling about the world, you know, how he wants to make it a better place. Also, the film gave off serious vibes of Seven and Saw, with the cold humour and the brutality, which, I mean, two brilliant films. Great stuff. So this film had awesome quotes throughout it, but there's three that come to mind right now that I've wrote down right there. So you got the one where he's getting the bed in. We can't remove your steel bed, it's bolted to the wall. That's what wrenches are for, dumbass. That was a brilliant quote. The next one was where he's in the courtroom, ending off his little monologue. He goes, "And I bet you take it up the fucking ass, bitch." Also near the end of the film, when he's talking to Jamie Foxx's character about how big he's going to make everything, you know, it's like, "I'm going to bring it all down on your head, and it's going to be biblical." It's brilliant. There's some absolutely amazing quotes from this film. So I don't think I had any major negative parts in this film for me. I mean, it's a genre that I love. It's been excellently executed. It's got brilliant casts with a lot of familiar faces. It's got awesome cinematography and lighting use that had creepy vibes, great effects. And the legal parts may have been a little bit too difficult to follow for some people. Getting lost in terminology, it happens to me a lot. A bit too often. But I like it because it kind of makes you think, you know. So this film, it generally had negative reviews from the critics. I mean, remember guys, it's okay to disagree with the critics. I was absolutely shocked at seeing these scores, to be fair. Rotten Tomatoes, 26%, stating it was unnecessarily violent and unflinchingly absurd. Fair whackers, you know. A Metacritic score of 34 and a user score of 6.9. So that means that the actual paid critics gave it a low score, but people like you and me, we liked it, you know. Overwhelmingly positive from the just the general public's perspective, so it's okay to disagree with the critics. I would personally give Law Abiding Citizen a solid 8.5 out of 10. It's a great film, and I think it's a film lover's choice. I had to take some points off because of the feeling of the type of film it is actually changed from when it changed from a revenge thriller to a bring down the government type. I mean, that's really the only issue that I had with the film. I would have loved it to be a continuation of revenge and to not have so much of the political side of things. But I mean, you know. So then guys, what did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you agree with the score that I gave it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And remember to comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Andrew Reviews, Film and TV.